Gilad Erdan is the permanent representative of Israel to the United Nations. He joins me now to react. Mr. Ambassador, good of you to stay with us here. I wanted to read out the announcement from the president of the General Assembly. He said, quote, "I have the honor to inform you that a plenary meeting of the General Assembly to pay tribute to the memory of the late president of the Islamic Republic of Iran, His Excellency Sayyad Ibrahim Raisi, will be held on Thursday, the 30th of May in the General Assembly Hall." What do you think of that?
I think it's disgusting. I was shocked. It's not only about convening the General Assembly to pay tribute to a mass murderer, it's also the fact that the UN has already lowered its flag to commemorate the death of this murderer. And also the Security Council, the body in charge of the safety and security of our world, they stood for a moment of silence, and again, to respect a mass murderer who's responsible for murdering not only thousands of his own people, but thousands of Israelis and also Americans. It's crazy that the UN, that was founded in the wake of the Holocaust and World War II to prevent atrocities and defend human rights, is now paying tributes and giving so much respect to a dictator, which was also a mass murderer.
You mentioned that moment of silence at the United Nations Security Council. We actually had that on the screen, but I want to put it up again because it's interesting. That's Robert Wood, who's the deputy U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. You see him there on the left. He kind of waited until everybody else rose to stand up, but he still did. Here's what the Boston Herald said about that in an editorial. They said, quote, "The Biden administration had an opportunity to take a stand for moral clarity and against terrorism on the world stage earlier this week. It blew the chance and instead joined members of the United Nations in honoring Ibrahim Raisi, former president of Iran, a.k.a. the Butcher of Tehran." Should Ambassador Wood have stayed seated?
Well, I wasn't there, and I consider Ambassador Wood my friend, and I know that his heart is in the right place. So I don't know, maybe the Russians and the Chinese, they like surprised everyone and suddenly stood up, but I'm not his spokesperson. I'm sure you can ask him this question. But I think that the most important thing is to understand that the UN has lost all of its credibility. It is no longer an organization that truly defends human rights, and I think that unless it will go through fundamental changes, the American administration should really maybe consider seriously to defund the UN. I'm not sure that your viewers are aware of the fact that they are paying $19 billion, almost $20 billion every year, and instead of strengthening your values, the values of America and the free world, you are weakening your values, because today the UN is being used by dictators and rogue states to whitewash their crimes. Iran was also elected recently to chair the Human Rights Social Forum. You can't make these things up.
Mr. Ambassador, we got to jump, but I think President Trump, President Bush made exactly the point that you just made there. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And we'll be right back.
Thank you for having me, John.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, stay informed and inspired. This is Djobnik signing off.